This is John with the latest on the NFL NFC playoff race for Week 16 after the Thursday night football game with the Rams having beaten the Saints. Going through the divisions and teams, starting with the NFC East. Two-team race for the division between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Both have already clinched a playoff berth. Still anyone's guess now who wins the division. TeamRankings.com, thanks to them as always, has it projected to end with both of them at 12-5. In that case, it would depend on how they both got to that point for the tiebreakers. Cowboys in the driver's seat for the division now, but they do have two tough games coming up. Face the Dolphins this week and the Lions next. 60% chance to win the division. The Eagles have dropped 3 in a row. Do get the Giants twice and Cardinals to rebuild some confidence going into the playoffs. Giants at 5-9, just a 3% chance to make the playoffs. Need to win out to have any hope and also get help. Winning out will be tough with Eagles, Rams, Eagles. The Giants are eliminated with a loss to the Eagles. Commanders have been eliminated. The NFC North is the only division in the NFC where all 4 teams are still technically alive for a playoff spot. As for the division, it is the Lions to lose. Team Rankings has them finishing 11-6 in their projections, with the Vikings getting to 9-8 and being in a tiebreaker situation for a wild card spot. They have the Packers and Bears finishing outside looking in. Lions at 10-4 are realistically in. They do have an interesting remaining schedule with the Vikings twice sandwiched around the Cowboys, but 10 wins is looking very safe. They could lose out and still have good odds of making it in. They clinch the division this week with a win or clinch a playoff spot with a Seahawks loss. Vikings back to 500 after losing to the Bengals last week. In contention, just 6% chance to win the division, which would require winning out plus the Lions losing the game they don't play each other. 61% chance to make the playoffs. They need to get to 8 wins to have any chance. If they do win out, they are guaranteed at least a wild card spot. So unlike many of the other competitors, they do control their own destiny. Probably unlikely to any of their head-to-head tiebreakers against the NFC South teams come into play, but they have decent odds if they do. Of course, the big part 1 versus the Lions this week. Packers have dropped 2 in a row at the wrong time. On shaky ground, but still in it. Just a 15% chance, though. They need to get to 8 wins and get help to have any hope. Do hold a win over the Rams and Saints, but losses against the Falcons and Buccaneers for tiebreaker consideration. Panthers this week, then Vikings and Bears. Bears need some miracles after the loss to the Browns last week. Although, interestingly, there is a path for them to get in with just 7 wins. Do have the Cardinals this week, so we'll see if the other outcomes at least give them a fighting chance. They are eliminated with a loss and wins by either the Falcons, Packers, Vikings, or Seahawks. Over to the demolition derby of the NFC South. 3 teams still in contention for the division. Buccaneers with a slim lead. Team Rankings projects them to hang on and finish 9-8. Buccaneers with that big win last week over the Packers, and now just had the Saints lose to the Rams on Thursday. In contention, 64% chance to win the division, control their own destiny, In fact, they are one of 3 teams in which there is a path to the playoffs with the 7 wins they already have. Not that I am suggesting that is a good experiment to try. Jaguars this week, then potential big matchup against the Saints. Those Saints of the Thursday loss to the Rams, now at 7-8, in contention but do not control their own destiny. Need one more win to have any chance. Buccaneers in week 17, 1-5 shot to win the division. Falcons with the embarrassing loss to the Panthers to fall to 6-8, now barely in contention with a 15% chance to win the division. They need 8 wins to have any chance, and even if they win out, they would need a little help. Colts this week. Panthers eliminated, but we thank them for their service to the community by beating Arthur Smith. Out west, 49ers have clinched the division. 2 other teams still in the playoff hunt. Team rankings has the Rams and Seahawks both finishing 9-8 and in a tiebreak situation for a wild card spot. '49ers just waiting for the playoffs to start. Rams have won 2 in a row after the Thursday victory over the Saints to take charge of a wild card berth. In contention and now 3 out of 4 odds to go dancing. Control their own destiny, guaranteed a spot with 10 wins. They could, in theory, lose out and still have a shot. Victory over the Giants, though, is probably needed next week before the finale against the 49ers. Seahawks with the miracle over the Eagles to stay in the game. Still need some help. They do not control their own destiny, but not a terrible finishing schedule. And funny enough, while there are scenarios that exist where the Seahawks do not get in with 10 wins, there are also scenarios in which they could get in even with losing out. Do have that series loss to the Rams, which could be problematic for both a head-to-head tiebreaker and not being the quote-unquote best in the division if they are both tied with other teams at the end. 37% chance to make it. The Cardinals, of course, are eliminated. Recapping the scenarios for the week, Lions clinch the division with a win, a playoff spot with a Seahawks loss, while the Giants are eliminated with a loss and the Bears are eliminated with a loss and a win by one of 4 competitors. There are just 3 remaining intra-conference games for the week. For the non-combatant competitors, all very easy for who to root for. A Panthers win over the Packers helps everyone else out. Same with the a Lions win over the Vikings. The Cardinals-Bears game doesn't really matter, but a Cardinals win all but knocks the Bears out. That's it for now. My site is playoffcomputer.appspot.com. Comments, questions, suggestions are welcomed. Enjoy your day.